Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 11 of the 10th Divine podcast. This show connects fans and players of the Elder Scrolls games to the community at large. I'm your host, Crown-ESO, and I am here with the Breakfast Club's third course, the Multi-Platform Masters, the Loreseekers-ESO's newest host, and longtime community member, Minuitpro. How you doing today?
I am doing lovely. How are you?
I'm doing great. Oh, you know what? I was going to look up what the food suggestion was for a nickname for you in the Discord chat, and I forgot to.
Oh, no, that sounds very scary. Anything but a loaf of bread, I'm okay with. I just don't want to be linked with, Darian or...
Yeah. Pancakes, I believe was Katie's suggestion. So it was bacon, toasted peanut, toasted peanut, and pancake.
And pancakes. Yeah. I made those for myself this morning, so it'd be fitting.
Nice. Anyways, how are you doing today? How's the week been?
What, me over here? Oh man, this week's been nuts. It's been under 0 degrees since 7 p.m. on Thursday. It got down to minus 25 twice. So it's been... Wednesday I went shopping and I just got a bunch of food thinking I'm not leaving the house with this kind of temperature. No thanks. It's like a real life brittle debuff, you know?
Trying to think. 0 Fahrenheit is minus
in Celsius.
15? Celsius? Something like that?
It is minus 17.7 Celsius.
17? 15? That was close. Yeah.
Minus 25, which is what it got down to in the evenings, is minus 32, give or take.
Nice. So it was about that temperature here yesterday and the day before. With the wind,
it did get that cold.
With the wind chill, it was minus 31 and 34. Today's a bit warmer. It's with the wind chill, it's minus 30. And I'm just like...
So you're not going out either then?
No, I went and did some volunteer work this morning, but yesterday I worked for all of 4 hours, and even in my heated shop, it wouldn't warm up. I'm like, this place doesn't need to be organized this bad. I'm out of here.
Right.
Called it a day.
Just tiptoe away.
Yeah. So I am...
other than that, just employment this week has been kind of nuts. We got vacation coming up where I'm going to be heading down south for a couple weeks, and seems like every time that happens, people are like, okay, we got to talk to Matt. Talk to him. What's he up to? What do we need? What can we get off our list? Or, get out of the way before he's gone for a while. So,
isn't it funny how that works, eh?
All of that. Yeah. It's like, I'm glad I feel needed, but geez, people.
You could spread it out through the rest of the year. I don't need it all right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got friends saying, just imagine what your email box is going to be like when you get it. It's like, why are you going to be rude like that? I don't want to think about that. Play catch up after my time off.
It's always been the running joke in our household. You go back to work to get relaxation from your vacation, and then you often regret going on vacation because of how much work you have to do when you get back. Yeah, that's
I don't mind that so much, but my boss calls the reacclimation period the sadness, because he says it always takes like 1 or 2 days for the sadness to like get back down to employment level or work level, where you're like, yep, I'm now I can deal with everybody again, because it was too nice not having to.
Mm-hmm. So both of your co-hosts have been on the show in the past with the former host of this show on the first season. And I've been trying to get those two as a pair on for almost a year now that I've been running the show. But I think Bacon is scared that if she came on the show, she'd somehow end up on a third podcast under her hat, because she's on the PlayStation Loreseekers podcast, she's on the General Guild's podcast, and technically, because I'm the Xbox guy, this makes this the Xbox podcast for the Loreseekers.
Sure.
So I think that's it. I think she's just scared she's gonna end up on a third podcast, so she's like, nope, can't go on the show. That's my theory. And
he's very diligent on the PlayStation one. That Snug Pod every Sunday. It's like they are right on the money, but trying to get those two, I mean, even for me, trying to get those two together to like deliver content for Loreseekers is sometimes you just gotta like rope them and tie them to a chair and okay, let's do this.
Right. So before we get into regular show items, this is episode 11, and I just want to say 11 is one of my favorite numbers. And I had hoped to do something a little bit different for the 11th episode, just like I did on the 7th, where I interviewed my kids for the show. But life has been super busy and distracting me from the things I want to do with the show. So, Minwi, what is your favorite number?
My favorite number is 55.
55. Why is 55 your favorite number?
Well, it's got good symmetry. It's been the miles per hour speed limit on highways here forever. And I think it looks good on sports jerseys. So I just been rocking that number. It
Nice.
seems to do well. So
Yeah.
I don't use it like in game or, things of that nature. I never like plugged them in digitally anywhere. It's just been like my real life number that I just liked. So.
Yeah. My last.
You got one in particular?
It's 7 and 11.
So both of those equally, huh?
Yeah. They also rhyme with my real name. And
sure. Okay.
so I remember being like maybe 12, 11, 12, somewhere around there, and going to my parents and being like, so my birthday is July 11th. And my parents were like, yep. I was like, so my birthday is 7/11 and you named me Devin?
Yeah, right.
And they're like, oh, that all rhymes.
Easy to remember.
And they're like they had never said it, never said my birthday with my name in such a way that made them realize that it all rhymed.
Sure.
But just out of that, the fact that it all rhymes, it's over time become my favorite numbers.
Well, it's easy for your family to remember too.
Yeah.
When's his birthday? Just
Well,
think about it for a second.
7/11 day. Everybody gets free Slurpees. It's great.
Yeah, I figured you had a few based on stuff we were talking about earlier. I figured it's probably going to be like 7 or 12 would be your two numbers to choose, or maybe 10, just to like the ultimate completion number.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So 7 definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and 7 is it's kind of a fun number just in general. But when you get to like, I have my birthday tattooed on my back shoulder. And it's so I did it as the 7 is like an angelic wing with a halo around it, and the 11 are like talons with more like raven-esque, kind of almost demonic looking wings. And it was supposed to just, at the time, it was just about the contrast between good and evil within like my own identity. It was one of the first tattoos I ever got. So at that time in my life, I had never really learnt about like 7 being a biblical number, and then we just did a series at my church on the number 7, and so like listening to all this and like, oh well, I picked the right one on my back to make into the angelic wings, I guess.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I'm like, that's perfect. Yeah, which unironically say that's perfect, but yeah, this is good stuff. What have you been getting up to in game recently? Have you been checking out the PTS? You do PTS stuff, right?
I definitely install it. It's just a matter of, do I focus as much attention as a lot of content creators? Like streamers will go in there and they're making builds and testing out, tweaks and number crunching. I do not get that deep, but in general, for the non-PTS, I'll just start with that one, I guess. I just keep up with the endeavors, which are going away in a couple months. So that'll free up a little bit of time. So it's usually like a 5-minute checklist of, which 3 can I knock out quick and then get on with the rest of my day, just as a nice break between like, say, work and some other activities or whatever. Mm-hmm. With New Life, I finished leveling all of the companions. So I have all their perks now.
I didn't get a chance to even log on the entire time of New Life Festival. I was so busy with life. I was like looking forward to the new quests, and usually New Life is the event where if I've been kind of slacking, I will get myself back into the habit
up your tickets.
Yeah, get tickets and like actually like get into the game on a regular basis and do stuff. And for the first time in almost 10, I don't know, it's been 8 years I think we've had New Life, because it wasn't the first couple years that we had it. Yeah, this will be the first time since I like actively was playing the game, where New Life wasn't like my uptick in activity. It's kind of sad.
Sure. Well, that's okay. Real life be calling sometimes, you know.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, the only companion I didn't level is Bastion because he hates cheese, and that's not allowed. That's a big no-no for me. I'm from central Wisconsin, so we are the cheese state. You do not knock cheese. He gets... I did his quest just to enjoy, you know, the story and see what he was all about. But after that, I'm like, nope, dude, you're... No way. You're parked.
That's funny. Would you put him as a house guest?
Yeah, I should put him in a cage. I used to put Tithys in a cage because I was so sick of him talking about Vivek all the time. So, when housing first came out, I had one of those cages, and then I put a like one of those sensor bonfire things underneath him. I just had him in there roasting. It's like, yeah, now what? But
That's awesome.
That's just me being petty because he always talked about, you were there at the choral, you know, like, shut up, Tithys. Like, heard this voice line 800 times already. Every once in a while, when Bacon is actually available, we run some Infinite Archive. Usually it's just like we just do the one arc to get the daily finished and then whatever else. But I got an achievement. Every so often you get little achievements like, oh, you know, I finally picked the last verse of this collection or whatever. And it's like, well, that's kind of cool.
I still haven't touched up that archive.
Ooh.
I've never touched it.
It's an acquired taste. Like, it's, what are we doing in here? Oh, that hurts. Oh man, this ramps up, or, you know. But when you're just doing it casual with a friend or just chilling with some music on or something, it's kind of a nice grind, I guess. You don't know exactly what you're doing with which creature's going to show up necessarily, but it affords you some time to just like think about what skills you use constantly and maybe like tune them a little bit or whatever. We both got the emote in the game, which we call Booknado, where it's a tornado swirling with old books and sheets and stuff going around. So being Loreseekers, obviously that was like, we didn't even know. She got it first. Then I had to look up how to do it.
That's funny. The person who plays
she was just picking, yeah, she was picking verses left and right, just, you know, whimsically. I was reading the description and trying to min-max my setup, you know, for actually making it through the archive better. And it turns out that I needed to like acquire all of these things over the course of time. So finally got that one. One of our either pursuits or endeavors was to run, no, it was the pursuit, run group dungeons. So I asked some people if they just, Fungal Grotto 1 came up on the pledges. I'm like, hey, you just want to go crank out Fungal? And, you know, I'm to a point now where I could just solo the hard mode on that thing. And I go in there and I'm just crushing through the enemies, waiting for whoever in my party wants to come in at the end just to get the tick kill. Yeah. But an achievement came up, Goblin Slayer, and I didn't even know that was a thing. But if you kill 450 inveterate Fungal Grotto, you get this achievement. So that made me just chuckle, like, okay, I guess
base game dungeon and getting a new achievement from it.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
And the only other thing is I finished off collecting all the motifs except for one, and that's the one that you have to buy with AP. So I'm just I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I'll see if they ever show up in drops or something, so I don't have to burn through.
It might be in the new ticket system or the new tome system.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if it's a PvP earnable thing, I don't think they're going to make it available for the trade bars. They'll probably keep it with PvP as like, this is your thing, and it gives you a way to convert your AP into gold because they can sell all those motifs for.
I could see it being if we end up with a season that's focusing on PvP, then I could see it being like the end of the paid tier or something of the battle pass. That would make sense.
Cyrodiil's a grind. I want to get to Grand Overlord at some point, and I know that once I hit that mark, I'll have so much AP in my bank that I won't know what to do with because it's like, what, 64 million AP you have to earn? Give or take if you use the little cheat rank scrolls and War Tort and all that kind of stuff. But I've got maybe 10 million laying around, and I have this itch in the back of my head every time something comes up. Like, I wonder if I'm going to need that at some point. I'm going to just hold off. Something cool is coming, and I'm going to need it to burn, to buy something really sweet in this game.
That's funny. I like PvP's never been a big thing on my list. And even like world bosses, for the longest time, I just avoided them because like the first time I went to one, I just got smeared across the floor.
Handled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. It's like part of me is like scared it's my soul getting ripped out of my body. I don't know. So I just like avoided it.
It's an awesome zone, but yeah, you do have to take precautions when you go in there. That is for sure. It's interesting that you bring up that idea of how guarded certain people feel, and then other people just don't even care, and they just fully go Leroy Jenkins on it. And I had this discussion about the brotherhood, and how do you reconcile killing an NPC, for example, for your own gain? And I just looked at him and said, he's going to be back in 5 minutes. It doesn't bother me one bit. If he never returned to Tamriel, to Nirn, then I would care a lot. But the fact that he'll be back in a couple minutes, there's no guilt whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about dying. Once you've been killed enough times where you're starting to get used to it, especially in PvP, you're like, it's just part of the game. You just deal with it. And it's like rebooting.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because like in the old single player games, if you killed the wrong person, it just like end a quest or the whole game would be
destroys
trashed. Because they didn't protect them. I myself had, even though my wife bought me the Oblivion remake as soon as it dropped, but I have barely gotten my character out of the sewers. How about yourself? Did you get into the remake for Oblivion at all this past year?
I never played the original, so I did buy the remake.
Oh, nice.
I played it for a few hours and enjoyed it. But I was so overwhelmed with like, go over here. What's this? And go over here. And
It's almost as bad as ESO for a new player.
Yeah, I ended up at like the Spire or whatever, the house that they put in as an expansion, where you can have like your enchanting and alchemy tables and your conjuration circles. And I had no idea what it was. I saw it way over on the horizon. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm going there because it looks cool. So I ended up going over there. And I'm like, okay, so everything in here is wicked expensive. So I'll just use this, console command to give myself gold, because acquiring gold in that game is ridiculous.
Can be.
Yeah, that's real. I've done a fair amount of non-questing, just in, looking around and seeing what's available. But the inventory encumbrance grind is just, man, it hurts. And it hurts bad.
Yeah, so, I agree with that.
I've been told, go do the gates now while you're lower level. Otherwise, you're going to regret it.
Because their response scales to your level.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty much where I shelved it for a moment at that time. And then now it's a year? Has it been 2 years already?
No, it'll be a year here in the spring.
It came out this last spring?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't feel so bad then. I thought it was already a year past that. So
no, I would cry.
That makes me feel way better.
Yeah.
Okay, because I did the same thing with Starfield.
I did the same thing with Starfield.
Grinded a lot of it. I did not even touch like the multiverse type thing. I put it on suspend and I went and did some other stuff. But then life happens.
Yeah.
And
with Starfield, I barely even scratched the surface. It was one of the games I was playing when I was at work up north, and so I was just doing it through cloud on my tablet with my one controller.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, because there's so much to take in, because it's like a whole new universe of an IP and stuff. Yeah. So like I was like, man, I gotta play this on the big screen, because like I just feel like I'm not really getting the full effect out of it. And it's just never one of the games that I play. Like, it's the Xbox I have here in the office is the only one that can handle it. So,
sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got to a point where I made the most ridiculous ship ever, basically. And then I started building an outpost, and then I found all sorts of glitches, which they've subsequently fixed. But that's what kind of turned me off. Like, I started doing the housing thing. I'm like, oh, this looks so sweet. I'm on this planet, found the perfect spot where I'm overlooking the ocean and all of this cool stuff. And then just like lighting glitches were all over the place. So I do intend to get back to them sometime.
I tried to build a base somewhere on Mars.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
That would
was
have been a challenge.
out in the sticks, and I was trying to build like a little mini outpost just to test out how it works.
Sure.
And yeah, I struggled with the program itself. I was just like, I'm not big into housing even for ESO though. So like I like the housing expansion in Skyrim because it wasn't really housing so much. It was pick which section of a house you would like, and then it was like throw.
Oh yeah, right.
Right.
Add some rooms in, and then exactly.
Yeah. So Minuit, in Elder Scrolls Online, what would you say has been your favorite DLC release, or how are you thinking or feeling about the changes from chapters and DLCs to seasons passes?
Oh man, that's a big one.
Start with your favorite thing we've had so far.
Yeah, I think the Elsewhere drop was probably Northern Elsewhere specifically. Southern was fine, but it's just one thing after another out there that wants to kill you. Northern, you could actually go around and enjoy a little bit, and it's my favorite. Well, I love like the Khajiit race, so it's to see more of that stuff was really quite cool. And then the introduction with the dragons, the lead up to that, all of the story arc of involving those dragons, and we get to go to the moon. All that stuff was going on. It just everything in there was great.
Medieval space adventure. Let's go.
Yeah, right. Seasons, I have mixed feelings. I mean, the game's been going steadily into like low quest content mode for the last couple of years. You could see it with the writing where you still get nice, fun stories, but they're over fairly quick. Like you look at Greymore, Somerset, Elsewhere, those were like, and obviously Morrowind. They say that it took them 18 months per chapter basically to write all the stuff, and it kind of showed in that content drop. Where recently seems like they've been squeezing them tighter and tighter and tighter so they can get to other things as well, and that's fine. I mean, that's their business. Get to what you can. That's the only thing that kind of depresses me a little bit about the season. It's just that what I get in there for is, all right, I'm going to set aside like 3 hours. No one's going to talk to me. I'm just going to melt myself into this, story arc for a while. And now it's like you do that and you're suddenly like, okay, I guess that side's done. Everything gets a nice bow really fast. Like a half hour goes by and you're like, well, that whole arc is over. And I can shelve it and come back to, a different area. I've definitely enjoyed some of even the Worm Cult with Solstice. There's a lot of neat things, especially with the lore. So I'm hoping that if they can just drop that same level of content, but just offset them throughout the year, perfectly fine. It wouldn't faze me really much, but I'm also looking forward to if the content like that does wane a little bit, then it will free up some time to get back to other games like Oblivion, for example, that I've shelved.
Yeah.
Being part of the content team with Bacon and Peanut, it's kind of like, okay, we have an obligation to check out what's in the game, try to keep it fresh, try to keep it relatable, enjoy it with the community. But if that much of it starts to decrease, then that will free up some time where we don't have to focus as hard on that area anymore, because then I can do other things.
Is there anything in particular of what you've been looking at for the seasons that you're like, yes, I'm excited for that? I'm kind of scared for the update to the Warden class because I barely understand my Warden as it is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just getting used to that, and they're going to make changes.
My tank is a Warden, so that'll be interesting. I think the Gold Coast Bazaar is probably going to be the nicest change for me, just out of mere convenience. where if you want a collectible and it's not from a crown crate, that's where you go. You don't have to try to like piece together, okay, which event got me which tickets, when, what do I have to morph, when do, all of these decision trees that you've had to blossom through for the last 5 years now go away, and it's just hey, come do some challenges in the game, you'll get some currency, and then whenever you feel like it, you can just open it up and see what's available.
Yeah. I think I like the way it sounds. I like the way that they're melding things together to like streamline it for everybody. I think in season 1, because we start with season 0, season 1, I'm curious about the Thieves Guild stories and quests that they're adding. And then it just says Shir-Gorath. So.
Oh, right.
And I don't even remember them like mentioning it in that first live stream, that anything about Shir-Gorath. So then I did there was like a questionnaire after the stream, and I did that. And it's like, which of these things are you most excited for? And it listed off that, and I was like, I watched that twice. I don't remember them saying anything about that. So do you think Shir-Gorath is going to be more stuff in Cyrodiil, or do you think it's going to be something somewhere else?
No, I think it's going to be somewhere else. I don't know to what extent, but I did get some extra information ahead of time that Shir-Gorath was going to be coming. I don't know if they want to commit to the whole ball of wax without it being like prepped and ready for the season. So that's probably what I'm thinking, is they're just going to hold off until that content's ready to hit PTS to flesh out and bug fix and all that kind of stuff. But I'm pretty sure that they're doing Thieves Guild and Brotherhood, where there's going to be a little extra pieces to both of those. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, man, it might be kind of funny if Shir-Gorath was getting involved with either of those guilds. Like, he doesn't give a crap about gold, but boy, could he have some fun with Sithis, right? So, like, mess with, that whole nomenclature of the game. I don't know, pick on Argonians, or I don't know what he would do, but he's just so off the wall.
Yeah.
Doesn't really fit the...
I feel like keeping your hopes low means that you're more likely to be surprised too, right? So. Yeah,
right.
Was there anything about seasons that like seemed off-putting to you, or like you're hesitant about?
From Zos's point of view, no. Over the last 6-7 years, it seems like Microsoft has got its face in everywhere and says you shall be on an agile development platform no matter what you do. So and they think it's better. I think it's not. I think it's just all it is an excuse for letting your product be QA'd by the users instead, which I don't like the agile framework, and that's basically what seasons are, is agility. Let's crank something out, and then if it's broke, so what? We'll fix it. Fixing is cheap. Long development is expensive, so therefore we're a business and we'll do it cheap.
Yeah,
I understand that. I
being
totally get it. But from the end user point of view, I'm frustrated with it. Take as long as you want. Take 2 years off. Build something really, crazy good, and then I'll
blow my socks off.
Exactly. That's why I'm worried about seasons.
Yeah,
it's a good concept to get little pieces of content out, but I'm also worried that they're going to bite off more than they can chew, and then we're just going to end up being the QA for them.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I know some people don't do PTS stuff. It's like, that's not my job.
Right. Yeah.
So I get it. Of all the subsystems we have now in the game and all the other aspects, what's your favorite subsystem we've gotten?
From a lore seeker point of view, from a lore bit point of view, it's definitely Antiquities. The little snippets of fun culture and references to things that you get from that are just, man, it just makes me happy. Every time I dig up something new, I'm like, okay, what does this guy think it is? Now you have to wait till you get 3 of them to get the final answer, but that's been a lot of fun.
I also really enjoy Antiquities. I have a hard time saying the word, but I like it. Within the Lore Seekers, what is your role as part of the guild?
I'm officially titled as the community manager. We've had a couple in that, but they've disconnected themselves from that role, even though they may still wear the badge. Kind of like the shepherd of the community, where I take care of like housekeeping or some of the technology stacks of certain things that need to happen to facilitate whatever. We've been through several things. We've got a couple bots that are useful within the Discord community, so I hook those up, manage those. All the roles for doing different things, found ways to like facilitate events and kind of clean up and the presentation to make everyone's life a little nicer. Handle applications, handle help tickets when they some stuff comes up. So yeah, I've been doing that I joined them 7.5 years already. It was the middle of May 2018 was when I joined. It was like 2 months. A month after they opened the gates, basically. I think there was a Elder Scrolls article that hit, and I'm like, you know what? That sounds like something I'd enjoy. So,
so with Loreseekers being a multi-platform guild, how many platforms are you on?
I personally am on mainly PCNA. I do have some baby alts on PCEU, and I had some close friends that I played on Xbox with, and I got my account up to, I think, about CP 750. Yeah. PCNA is where most of my time goes.
Nice. I have not tiptoed into other platforms. I live on Xbox. I made a joke with another Xbox player that I had on the show for a housing episode where it's like, if I would have never bought an Xbox and just saved the money from the monthly subscriptions I have to pay to play the games on Xbox, because it's an additional cost on top of everything else, I probably could have bought a decent computer by now.
Oh, sure.
It's like,
I get that. I don't even want to think about how much I've cranked into the Crown Store, for example.
Yeah, I hate
Shiver.
Don't do math, kids. Don't do math. That's your life lesson for this episode. You don't get another one. Don't do math about your hobbies. It's not okay. Just either if you got food on the table and your bills are paid, don't worry about what's getting spent on your hobbies. Don't do that math. You'll feel bad about yourself. So anyway, you've been in like a leadership position for some time and working with guild and stuff. Is there any tips you would have for somebody who's new to such a role or looking to take on more responsibilities within a guild?
What is Welcome to Management 101?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm also a manager in my vocation too, so I think it translates nicely if you can keep these things, some stuff in mind. Like big one is understanding that not everyone thinks the same way you do. Try to understand that people don't act like you. Understand that people have different values than you do. I guess maybe that's step one. My second tip would be you can tolerate people without necessarily having to approve of their actions. Like you can, as long as they're not like violating procedures or content that you've got set up or guardrails or whatever. You don't have to like voice an opinion of opposition every time somebody irritates you or has something that you're very contentious about. You can just let it go and not ruffle feathers. That guardrail for yourself, as long as you're holding your leadership's ideals as the focus to make sure nobody gets out of hand, so to speak. I think those are some big tips. Is when you're dealing with people in that kind of a capacity where you're relying on everyone to have a good relationship or a cordial relationship, and you're trying to foster that, then some of those are the things that you should keep in mind when you're dealing with people of all walks of life. That somebody that you're dealing with might just have a really bad day, because we all have some of those bad days. So take what you're seeing as not necessarily repetitive behavior, but just try to correct things as they come up. Celebrate people that are having good moments. One of the reasons why, like in Loreseekers, for example, we've got a very extensive code of conduct. It's kind of lays out the be a good human and try to try to pair yourself with others. You may not agree on everything. You may not find all the same values, but you both obviously you're coming into this community because you like the game and you like the community aspect. Hopefully, you like the lore of it. Those are some binding moments to get you started in your walk together. So don't sweat the small stuff. I guess that'd be my big tip.
I think that's great, and it kind of ties into how I'm going to like segue us a little bit here when it comes to getting along with other people and not necessarily always getting along with other people. How is it that you became the third member of the Lore Seekers podcast tribunal? Is that just a natural progression from how much work you're doing behind the scenes in the guild? They're like, hey, guess what? You've worked your way up to the top of the mountain. Here's a microphone.
Yeah, right. Well, we're not, contrary to some people's opinions, we are not the tribunal. I will not, I will not relegate myself to any one of those personas, especially not Silk the Sill. But for a long, long time, maybe like as I got more acquainted with, say, the original podcasters, Jibs and Cash, I'd give them little feedback items like, what if we did this, or what if we did that, or help them out with, I know how to do this, and here's some instructions, or basically like all the back end stuff that nobody really deals with or nobody knows about unless you actually run a management of some sort. So for a while there, it was kind of a give and take, and then as more technology got brought in, more people came online with ideas on stuff that they would like to try out, either in game or out of game. I just started helping out in a more official capacity where I was, given permissions to do certain managerial tasks within the guild. So I was an event leader for a while. Got special stuff in Discord to try to help out with some of the setup and the frameworks of like how do channels work, how do categories work. Can there be bots to do certain things, or to help out with managerial type duties, or how do we enroll people, and what's the best way to communicate X, Y, and Z to different people. So all of those things over time snowballed to a point where it's like, you know what, the people who were the guild leaders that took over for Jibs and Cash, basically as those progressions and those passings of the torches took place one after another, I was really the mainstay of who was running the server for Discord, who was in, trying to work with and communicate to make sure all of our platforms are operational and people are doing things. And just kind of made sense that as my real life afforded more time now that I could do that. I was distracted for a few years with certain family members and their health issues. So once all of that finished, basically, now I could focus more on stuff. And then they asked me to join them on air, and I said, all right, I guess I'm always in, chat with them and helping moderate and stuff anyway. So why not just put my face in there and see if people hate me, and then I'll leave if that's the case.
I love that. It's like, well, they came to me and I said, yes, let's put my face on that. And if they don't like my face, I can go away. I like that. That's a great way.
Yeah, well,
anybody who
I've
wants to get into podcasting,
content,
that's the best way to try to mindset yourself. Well, I'm going to put my face out there and see if anybody cares. I like it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good. What would you say, as far as like, from your perspective, what's the dynamic between Bacon and Peanut and yourself? Or like, what is it that you bring to the conversation that's maybe a unique point from the other two hosts?
Compared to those two, I am the sane pragmatist of the bunch. And I have a photographic memory. Which Bacon specifically will take advantage of as long as she can, or as often as she can. You've got the wild-eyed dreamer. You've got the crazy off-the-wall, propaganda machine, and then you've got okay, now let's bring it back and try to think of this in terms of reality, and what can actually happen.
I love that.
Maybe I'll think of lore things that it forces you into this box because, well, in lore, this is what happens, so we can't go there.
So,
Oh,
is there any other hobbies or fun facts about yourself you want to share with the community at large about?
oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's technical stuff is really, I'm always been really hardcore on technical things. Been photoshopping a lot over the last few years and getting kind of better at that. As you know, you could see like what's on behind me, for example, just putting together our logo, which is there. I've been doing banners and icons and, you know, gifs and, you know, all the things for like, I guess, face level material. Outside of all of that, just in general, who am I? I guess Christian is foremost. Christian life is like the most important thing to me. After that, I've got a very hardcore love of nature, love hiking, camping. As my age crawls on, I've learned to kind of just hang it up and go with glamping. So I bought an RV trailer, and the last 5 years, both camping and the migration over to trailer, I was in a hailstorm. Each of those, you know, vacation. So it confirmed
That's
to me
fun.
of, okay, I'm so sick of humidity and getting hailed on. I'm getting a trailer, and you know, I wanted something with walls and a roof so that we didn't have to, you know, worry about getting hailed on.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I went that direction. But just being able to take it anywhere I want and drop it in nature someplace was really the key to that. I was like, I just love being able to like go to a lake and just there. Now I'm at a lake. I can throw a hammock up in the trees. I know that I can come inside and watch TV if I wanted to, or I could play cards, or, you know, cook something, whatever the case may be.
Having
There.
something where the wind doesn't make the walls fall down is definitely a game changer in camping.
Yes. The year prior to me buying the trailer, I was propped up on a picnic table with the screen tent behind me pushing into me because I was trying to hold it back from the gale force wind that was whipping off the lake. And it was bent in like this, where I was, you know, the only thing stopping it from collapsing basically onto the picnic table. So I looked out as it was raining and pouring and whatever, and I could hear like little ice chunks clinking off the grill and all of that stuff. And I look out, and my friend's running to the vault toilet because, you know, that's what he does. He abandons me in my time of need. And I thought to myself, it is time for an improvement. I'm an older man now. I don't need to do this anymore. I put in my time.
Yeah. I've earned my tenure. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Call me a wuss if you want, but
No, we upgraded to a camper 2 years ago as well, and night and day, especially with the toddler. Not being in a tent with a toddler,
yes.
That is so much more fun than being in a tent with a toddler.
Right.
All right.
You actually have like a firm cushion someplace to put the kid, or nice area to change where you're not like on top of everybody's beds or suitcases or whatever. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Hey, folks. This is the break portion here. We're going to slide things around a little bit. I hope the new year is being filled with more joy than worry for all of you. And if it's not, I do pray that things are improved for you soon. I'm looking for members of the Elder Scrolls community to bring onto the show and interview. So even if you've been on the show in the past with the old hosts, or if you've never really stretched out into the general community, like maybe you've just started streaming the game, maybe you've just started making content for Elder Scrolls Online, I would love for you to reach out to me on the show. You can email me at the 10th Divine Podcast at gmail.com. It's just 10th Divine Podcast, not the word the, at gmail.com. You can hit us up on socials for the show as well. I'd love to get some things scheduled. I would love to see some new people and meet some new people, because I have my little bubble of people I hang out with in the Elder Scrolls community, and I'd like to reach out further than that to see who we can get on the thing. You don't even have to be a content creator. Maybe you just like the games and you just want to expand your friend group. You know, we have a couple people that were on earlier this season of the show that they don't really make content outside of the games, but they love doing housing, and they came and shared their housing stories from the different consoles. So that could be a place for you to do that, is here on the show with me. Minwee, are you ready for funsies questions?
Yeah, bring them on. What you got for funds?
For funsies questions, I have: which faction do you call home in Elder Scrolls Online?
Here we go with the alliances. What's your alliance, sir? Yeah. Here we go, provoking the bear everywhere.
The former host of this show only ever asks about the one that's behind my head here, and everything else was wrong.
Right? So allow me to first give the qualifier of faction rift is a real thing. They all bring something great to the game. I choose the Elmeri Dominion. Why? Because the Loreseekers chose the Elmeri Dominion. And I'm perfectly happy with that because Razumdar. Enough said.
My favorite part about the first season of this show with the previous hosts was how so many people were not AD that they interviewed.
Yeah, I think all of Europe is Covenant.
It seems like it.
I get it, but Razumdar's just, he brings it home. I'm like, okay, if you want to support the Queen, I'll support the Queen because I mean a Khajiit as well. So like, my brother.
Nice. So, what's your favorite quest?
You know, there's like 8 billion quests in this game.
Yeah, right? But everybody's got one quest that they like to talk about more than anything else.
I think I have to cheat a little bit.
There's not much opportunity for that, so go hard.
Yeah. My favorite character in all of Elder Scrolls, online at least, is Zamorak from Northern Elsewhere.
Okay.
A lot of people don't remember him. A lot of people don't focus on him because he's just kind of like the tangential part of the main story. But he's called the Hand of the Queen. He's like the martial artist, mobster boss, kind of like he runs the hit squad for anybody who would dare oppose the true queen. And when the second that I met him, and the voice actor's delivering his lines real smooth, he's got this real ultra chill, like Zen kind of quality to him. He's a complete baddie when it comes to like the martial arts and his practicing of the different I forgot what they call them. There's Gout Fang, and then there's Desert Wind, and there, all of those practices or styles that go on, and him discussing all of that stuff. I'm like, man, this cat is just so cool. So I really enjoyed the Northern Elsewhere storyline, where I got to deal with him and go through all of the questing with him and lead up to the restoration of a queen. Right behind that, though, is the Somerset story, because it has everything that makes this game cool. It's got Razumdar, of course. It's got both magical and martial influences. It's got a lot of Daedric Prince activity going on. And just the sheer amount of history drops with all of the Altmer factions, like the Sijiks, the Sapiarchs, etc., that ties in with the Mages Guild, with Shalador, and some of that back history. It's just like, if you're looking for one spot to like really pluck at everything in this game, the Somerset Zone story is where to go. But it doesn't have that it character like Northern Elsewhere did for me. So that's why I bond with it so heavily.
Huh, that's okay. I like that answer. That's good. Now, a little bit more funsy. If you could bring a race or creature from Nirn to Earth, what would it be?
Oh, absolutely, it'd be the Khajiit race. If I could wake up and my best buddy is sitting next to me and it's an Elfique, oh my goodness. What do you want me to make you? Just roll on with life. That would be the best thing ever. Like have Azabi and Fazez and Serene and all those Elfiques that we get to talk with, and they poke fun at life. I love that. So I would definitely bring the Khajiit.
How do you think the lunar lattice would work for them on Earth, since we only have one moon? Oof.
Yeah, they'd have to. I mean, the whole, they've got their part of the monomyth. We've got our creation. How do you bring that over, right? That's definitely going to have to be something special. Can you imagine we've got the moon. They understand that. Just one. We don't have, it wouldn't control first ox, obviously, because how would we get the variances of the Khajiit without multiple moons? Unless we took, I don't know, Mars and Jupiter and, dial in a whole bunch of other moons that we got available. Yeah, it would probably blow their mind with how much we know or have found out in our own, universe.
Yeah.
It would be like, really? That's the way it happens? That sun isn't just like some magician back there shining bright? I think it would blow their mind.
Right. The sun's not a hole in the sky. It's a ball. I like
They'd
balls.
be wondering how much skooma they had that morning,
All right. If you could reverse that and take something from Earth and bring it into Nirn, what would that look like?
Oh, that's a fun question. Oh man,
Anything
what's
from
Nirn
Earth.
lacking?
Plumbing is a common answer, and pizza's been a good one.
The Ulmers got plumbing. Dwemer had plumbing. Let's see, man, what would be good? Now, this is far fetched, but you bring plumbing up. I've never seen a toilet.
That's
How
why
do
it
people
gets
take
brought
care
up.
of their business, right? But
I think one of my kids said they'd take Magic the Gathering there.
why not? Hey, I've still got like thousands of cards laying around. All my friends have, grown out of it, but
I only came into it 2 years ago.
oh man, you're in for a ride then.
Yeah.
It might sound like a cop out because of my, religious background and taste, but we've got so much historical culture. And in the Elder Scrolls universe, we have some. Focus on cultures of Earth, you can see all the propagation into the Elder Scrolls universe. Like, I'll watch a documentary on, I don't know, we're in India today, and here's, whatever building or whatever. I'll suddenly see something going, wait a minute, I saw that in the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
They took that from their culture, twisted it a little bit, and stuck it in there, right? And I've seen that more and more and more as I get older. I'll see, like, that's a Mesoamerican influence for, Argonian stuff, for example. Or this is a Southeast Asian, cultural thing that they brought in. It's really cool that we have those cultures in the Elder Scrolls universe, but they don't seem to go back very far. Where with Earth's, creation propagation, you've got all of these forks and all these continent. Well, they don't have degrees of separation except for the realms that Bethesda won't let them go to, like Akavir or Pianania or Atmora. Those are like, no, leave them as mysteries.
Yeah.
I would want to bring in all of the continents to, like, so what if, one of those weird monkey people from Akavir showed up over here? What would happen? What would that do to the culture? What if they propagated in the Nemesis Valley and competed with those bird people and all those, I would like to see all of that influence be kind of brought in and swallowed up as a whole to get more history, more variation.
Just blow their mind with knowing more about their world than they know.
Except for the Nords. The Nords know all too well about the Akavir. They don't want much to do with them. Fended them off twice. Are there any things that you have posited where, like, this one thing, like a technology or something cultural from Earth that you've wanted to see or you think we'd be better off with in Tamriel?
Maybe it's because I grew up in oil country, but, like, it would be cool to be able to bring them mechanization. Not entirely like the Industrial Revolution, but, like, beyond the steam-powered and tonal magics of the Dwemer, bring them, hey, this is what a combustion engine looks like. You want to be kind of choosy, because, like, there's some weird stuff that happens when you piss off nature in Elder Scrolls. So, like, you gotta kind of be particular about what you're taking from where. But I think that would be kind of cool to, like, have an automobile in the Elder Scrolls. Even if it was just like an old Model T.
Right.
Something like that. It'd be
fun.
fun.
Those Dwemer spiders.
Yeah.
I remember when the swimmable mounts finally dropped, and one of my characters, I didn't even think about it. I logged in on a character and I wanted to go somewhere, and he's running the Dormer Spider. And I get out there and I'm like, man, it's like I'm on a ski-doo out here. It just looks perfectly like balanced, like I'm on this mechanized thing. It's so cool looking.
I think it was one
I
of the
like
better quality of life things they did.
Yeah, the bringing industry, especially with like the revolution of combustion, man, that would do a lot. Finally kick the Dwemer off their pedestal.
Right. So, is there a moment in your gaming history that you wish you could relive for the first time because it was just like such an awesome thing?
There are so many of those moments when you're questing where it's like, whoa, but you don't write them down, and you don't really think about, okay, I got through that. I enjoyed that moment, and now I'm on to the next moment, right? With the game. There's one section of content that came up that I've been waiting to get back to on an alt, and it's going to take a while to get there, but it's from the Reach. I remember walking, and if for anyone listening and you haven't done the Reach, spoiler warning, I'm going to say stuff that just tune me out, fast forward, whatever. But
Skip ahead.
you walk in to where the Namira's heart was beating. And I don't know if you've done that part yet, but the feeling, I got an absolute feeling in my soul of, holy crap, I'm like, I'm not shaking, but I feel nervous. I feel anxious. I feel like, geez, I shouldn't be here right now. This is really creeping me out, And then later on in that it's either right before it or right after it. I don't remember it until I go back and play it again. But you go to another piece of Oblivion that no other game has touched yet.
Okay.
The Sundered Land is where you end up going through your quest. It brings you into there at some point. And for some reason, I thought it was more green, but it's kind of bluish. But it's one of those same feels where you're like, man, this is really creepy. You get like a feel for all these void creatures and stuff, and they're all like their essences are all kind of green. I don't know what it is about that particular spot, but especially the Dark Heart when you get into that room, and I think it's like as you're doing stuff, it lowers a little bit. But man, there's just the vibe that part of the quest gives off. Just really, ooh, it just really hit me hard.
That's good. I'm gonna have to. I have not done that one. I brought stuff up on the wiki. I'm like, yep, nope, definitely haven't touched that. So I'll have to keep an eye out.
Get into
for it
the Reach. I highly recommend you dedicate some serious. Okay, everybody else just leave me be for a little bit. I'm gonna really sit back and enjoy this.
So, what's your favorite time of year? Yeah, IRL.
Oh, fall, definitely. Enjoy nature and comfy clothing without sweating and without bugs. That's ideal for me. Like, I will drive to a spot in the national forest, like 50,000 acre. I mean, that's nothing for Canada, I know. But a 50,000 acre stretch of land. You struggle to even hear another human, which is beautiful. But you could just park at a spot, go walking in a direction. You don't even care where you're headed. Just the crunch of the leaves, the colors, no bugs, perfect temperature. Just everything is no smog in the air or that kind of stuff. Everything is just pleasant and crisp and lovely. So that's what I get for fall.
I got two more quick questions for you.
Okay.
What is your favorite in-game location?
Westfield.
Westfield? I haven't actually spent any time in Westfield. But that makes sense.
Well,
It's like Leaves were the whole thing. Leaves were the whole thing with the pre-release stuff on that one. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you get orange, brown, green leaves everywhere. It's got a nice orange tint to it. Yeah, it's definitely first moment I stood in there, I'm like, my home. It just felt just like fall.
That's perfect. Have you ever had a moment in a game where you look back and you're like, man, that was the least enjoyable thing I've ever done in a video game? And like, unrectifiably. Like, it's not even like, well, later it was better when I went back to it. No, like, I could never go back to that because this thing sucks so bad?
Nothing really. I guess I had a brief moment of it with Tales of Tamriel, or
Tales Tribute?
Tribute. After a few times of playing, I realized just how much luck had to be in the way the cards fell for an outcome to be successful or not. And it kind of turned me off. So I'm like, I really don't play. I haven't played, since. I've somewhere in the upper, tiers of NPC playing against that I just have to get back to at some point, but it really just left a foul taste of, you know what, if these cards fall in the right order, I'm sunk. Like, they go first, they get those cards, I might as well just concede now because, there's nothing I can do to come back from that deficit. And I didn't like that part of the game where something shouldn't be that potent where the first hand could determine this is successor if they just knew how to play the cards.
Well, Minui, thank you so much for coming on today and hanging out with me as my first recording for the new year. I appreciate that. It's good to get to spend some time with you today. Where can our listeners get a hold of you if they wanted to be like, hey, you're awesome and I like you?
Sure. Yeah. If that miracle ever happens. I am Minuitpro on basically every platform. I just don't do PlayStation, so I don't have a PlayStation identity of any kind. But, Xbox, Elder Scrolls, I don't know, just you name a platform, Spotify, YouTube, etc. Just Minuitpro's, that's where you go. If you want to know more about Loreseekers for ESO, then you can go to Loreseekers.club, and there's some links in there about learning like who we are, and we actually keep tabs on Jibs and Cash a little bit, and we have their stuff on there, like some of the extracurriculars that they have done since ESO. But that'll get you into like joining Loreseekers, or at least investigating us, and you can hop onto our Discord and find me there.
Perfect. All right, folks. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning into the show. If you've enjoyed it, please let others know. Leave a review wherever you're listening to us. Rating and reviewing the show will help other people find it. And if I see some good reviews where people are like, hey, we like this stuff, I'll be sure to read it out on a show that I've seen it after they're on. That was bad English, but don't judge me for it. Rating and reviewing the show helps people find it, and that's the important part of that message. So please rate and review the show on whatever platform. You can come follow us on various forms of social media, such as Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. All of that with @10th Divine Podcast. You can email the show with 10thDivinePodcast@gmail.com. You can find me, Crown ESO, Crown ESS0, in all those places, as well as on Twitch. And if you want to support the show, you can go to ko-fi.com/thepiercefamily, PEARCE. We'll be back in, hopefully, a fortnight with another lovely chat about Elder Scrolls. Tot ziens.